Imagine this. One morning you wake up to check the mailbox, but it's gone. Not just your mailbox, every mailbox. No more mail trucks, no postal workers, no deliveries. Canada Post has vanished. What happens now? Can we survive without mail? Do we even need it anymore? Or does the death of the Postal Service tear a hole in the fabric of this country? Today, in a special Bakes on Things, we're diving deep into a world where the post office no longer exists. What would that world look like? Who would it hurt? Who might it benefit? And how I would rebuild Canada Post from the ground up if I had to take it over myself. Let's go.
Welcome to Bakes on Things.
Welcome back to Bakes on Things, friends, and thanks for being here on a special Saturday edition. If you're new here, I'm Bakes, Chris Baker, and I break down business, politics, and society in ways that make sense, even if the world doesn't. So today's episode, what if Canada lost its postal service? And this is an important episode. We've talked about Canada Post in the past, but I really wanted to study if the whole thing just went up and vanished, what would happen? Well, let's start with the basics. If Canada Post shut down tomorrow, no letters, no parcels, no government documents, we wouldn't just be inconvenienced. We'd be in actual chaos. And if you think I'm exaggerating, listen on. See, in 2024, a Canada Post strike lasted just 17 days around the holiday season. But small businesses lost nearly $765 million in sales. Passports sat undelivered. Health cards expired. Drivers didn't get license renewal notices, and donations to charities dropped off a cliff at that time, a very important time of year. That was just 17 days. Now imagine it's just gone. What would happen? Well, there'd be an economic earthquake. Canada's economy still relies on postal infrastructure. Yes, a lot of it's antiquated, but whether we like it or not, we still rely on it. Every day, small businesses use Canada Post to ship products, send invoices, and deliver services, especially in rural areas where FedEx and UPS just do not go. Not even Purelator, who Canada Post partially owns. If you kill the Postal Service, you create a two-tiered economy immediately. Urban customer, covered by private couriers. Remote or low-income Canadians, completely left behind. And let's be real. The private sector cherry picks. They go where the profit is, not where the people need help. During that 2024 strike, small businesses warned that a prolonged shutdown would cost them over $1 billion, and they were pretty close to right. Some of them folded entirely. Now multiply that forever. That's what losing Postal Service looks like. So what would be the social fallout? Because it's not just about business here. Let's talk about the people. Postal Service connects this country, especially rural communities. Indigenous nations are connected by it, and seniors who don't live online 24/7 like a lot of the rest of us. A lot of Canadians, especially older adults, still get many different items in the mail that we probably get digitally, including bills and bank statements. They also get appointment notices and reminders. Government IDs still come by mail for all of us. All of that through the mail. No mail? No access to that. What would happen to your passport fee if they have to courier it out every time? One elderly woman missed her driver's license renewal because the notice never came. That's not a nuisance. That's actually dangerous. Let's go further north. In remote Indigenous communities, the post office is often the only link to the outside world. No courier serves them. The mail, it brings everything to them. It brings their medicine. It brings their legal documents. It brings school materials. It brings voting ballots. Even the RCMP relies on Canada Post for delivering forms and permits in some of the territories. So take that away, and you're deepening isolation in places that are already underserviced and isolated. That's not just bad policy. That's actually pretty much unjust. So You might be sitting there wondering, well, I'm on my phone all the time. I get my bills by email, whatever. Can digital fill this void for everybody? Well, that is the big question. Can the internet replace mail? And the answer, I think, is not yet. Yes, 95% of Canadians have high speed internet service now. Some rural areas don't have access to that just yet, but that drops to just 78%, and still, that's still pretty good compared to some other areas of the world. And that's availability, not affordability. And what about the 2 million Canadians who don't use the internet at all or can't afford it? Think about that. If we kill off mail service today, we're telling millions of people they no longer matter unless they can download a PDF. I don't think we want that for Canada. Digital only systems are a great thing until the power goes out. Then what? Can you imagine the power going out for any length of time and not having Canada Post? Or you're 80 years old and don't know what a PDF even means? Postal Service is the safety net, the analog backbone of a digital society. When all else fails, the post still shows up. In the winter, in blizzards, it's still there. So, what happens without mail? Let's look around the world because we actually aren't the only country to go through this. And in fact, some countries don't have mail service at all. You want to know what happens when mail disappears? Well, let's take a little virtual field trip around the world. Our first stop is Somalia. It is a civil war destroy or the civil Our first stop is Somalia. Civil war destroyed their postal system in the 1990s. For over 20 years, Somalia had no mail delivery whatsoever. So what happened? No addresses, no identity verification, no document shipping. People used bus drivers to smuggle letters from village to village. Today, they're trying to rebuild with help from Emirates Post in Dubai. It took 2 decades, and international help just to send a letter in Somalia. That's what falling off the postal cliff and the postal grid actually would look like. United Arab Emirates now flip the coin. The UAE themselves never had a home delivery service or a home mail culture. So you want mail in the UAE? You have to get a PO box, period. No other choice. But it works because they're rich. That's why it works. They all have money. They're small. Everyone has a smartphone in the UAE. That's not Canada. That's not how we look, operate. That's not how we could operate. Look at the size of our country as it is land wise. We're 10 million square kilometers, not one glittering city in a desert. Now, is Postal Service still essential? You bet it is. It's infrastructure, just like roads, just like power or clean water. It really enables a lot of different things. It ensures every Canadian gets equal access to their mail, to things like bills and things like their government IDs and so on. Rural and remote communities aren't forgotten when there's a mail service. People without digital skills can still participate in our society, and we need that. And you know what? Here's the irony. As the world goes more digital, parcel delivery is actually exploding. We don't mail letters anymore necessarily, but we sure buy everything online. How many Amazon deliveries do you get in a month or in a year? Who delivers it? Well, some of it is delivered still by the post office. Even 18 to 29-year-olds, the TikTok generation, rate their postal services highly. Because when Amazon Prime fails, the funny thing is, Canada Post still shows up. Now, I had to think about this because a lot of you say I would love it in your episodes if you could come up with solutions to a lot of these things. And some of you are probably sitting there going, well, Bakes, you told me everything you need to tell me about this, so what would you do now? Because there doesn't seem to be a plan. Well, if you want a plan, I've sort of got one here, I think. Here's how I would overhaul Canada Post and make it future proof. And I'm not by any means saying go ahead and do any of this, but it could work. First, go fully digital and fully analog. Create digital mailboxes. Let citizens opt to receive government letters online in a secure portal via scanning. But keep physical delivery for those who need it or want it. It can be a sign-up service for you if you want it. Offer scanning services, like I said, your physical mail gets opened, emailed to you. Modernize the sorting plants. Use AI to optimize delivery routes. Bring in drones and autonomous vehicles like Amazon has. Use drones for remote deliveries to northern communities, especially island towns, indigenous settlements. Use electric autonomous vans for long rural routes. Save gas, save time, save money. There's ways to do this. Transform existing post offices into community hubs. Add banking services to those hubs. Postal banking for rural and low income Canadians who lost their local bank. How many local banks in little towns have you seen lost in the past 10 years? Add high speed Wi Fi, government kiosks, printing stations into those spots. Become a Service Canada satellite office. Get your passport, license, or benefits right there in the old post office. Build a parcel locker network. Every supermarket, train station, corner store gets a Canada Post locker. 24/7 pickup and drop off. Great for renters, students, and shift workers. Don't privatize, partner. Keep Canada Post public because public good shouldn't be sold off. But partner with FedEx, partner with Amazon, partner with Shopify and others. Let them use our infrastructure. We carry their parcels the last mile. They pay. We deliver. And find new revenue streams. We talked already about putting postal banking in the post offices. Discover postal banking digitally too. EV charging stations at rural post offices. Identify verification services for passports, background checks, and immigration, even senior wellness visits. In Japan, mail carriers check on elderly folks, and families pay for the peace of mind. Because we need to really understand what's truly at stake here. Without Postal Service, we don't just lose a way to get mail. We just lose. We lose things like equal access to commerce. We lose trust in our institutions. We lose service to Indigenous, rural, and marginalized areas and communities. Our identity as a country is lost, built on connectivity, coast to coast to coast. The post office is not a relic. It seems like it because they haven't modernized, but it is truly still a lifeline. If we let it die completely, we'll regret it. And that's why this Canada Post issue is a lot more important than we think it is. But if we rebuild it right, we turn it into one of the most innovative, trusted, and inclusive institutions of the 21st century. That can be done if it's done correctly. As always, I want to thank you for watching Bakes on Things. We love bringing this show to you. I love seeing your comments, so please make them, and they also help the channel in the algorithm. If this episode made you think, if you've ever been frustrated by a lost package or grateful for a letter from grandma, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and comment about it. We want to hear about it down below. What's the last thing you received in the mail that actually mattered? And again, don't forget to subscribe. We've got more deep dives coming your way in politics, business, and everything else that hold Canada together. Thanks for watching Bakes on Things. I'm Chris Baker, and we'll catch you next time.